Tell us a little bit about it. Everybody, just to catch you up, this is Amy Yellis. She owns Southwest Legging Co. Again, super cool entrepreneurial mom. She took her side hustle to her main hustle, and she's going to tell us all about how she did it. Starting now.
Starting now.
Hey, MOMnation, welcome. It is Katie again. It is a beautiful Thursday. Well, I thought it was going to be a beautiful Thursday, and then it started raining, which I wasn't prepared for. Were you prepared for that?
I was surprised.
Right?
I looked outside and went, it's raining.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Like what I miss. Usually I'm up on this stuff.
A good surprise.
Surprises are good. We'll call it Surprise Thursday. But today, Amy, welcome. Thank you so much for your time. So excited that I get to interview you on a Live and Learn. I don't think we've had the opportunity to do this yet, have we?
We haven't. It's so fun though. I don't think I've gotten to chat with you in a few months. So I was really excited.
Yeah. So thank you so much. I can't wait to hear all about your story because I know you from Southwest Leggings through MOMnation. And so I have seen the incredible entrepreneurial mom that you are, but I don't know what Amy was like in the very beginning. So tell us a little bit about it. Everybody, just to catch you up, this is Amy Yellis. She owns Southwest Legging Co. Again, super cool entrepreneurial mom. She took her side hustle to her main hustle, and she's going to tell us all about how she did it. Starting now.
Starting now? Okay. Yeah. So if you had asked me like 6 years ago, if would you own a fashion brand someday? I would have that's the last thing I would be doing ever. I did not see it coming at all. Seriously, such a surprise. But what happened was about 6 years ago, I was working as a school administrator doing businessy type stuff, bookkeeping and enrollment and paperwork. And I kept seeing people wearing these really bright leggings and I kept seeing people fight over them. And I was like, this is weird. This is really weird. And it occurred to me, I've been creative making stuff my whole life. I can't help it. It occurred to me, what if I made some Arizona leggings, put some cactus on it? People would go nuts over it, right?
Absolutely.
And I was like, okay, let's just try it. So I found a small company to make some for me. And we made size charts. I took a class over at Fabric, which is a fashion incubator and local here, and learned to draft patterns and stuff. And I got a lot of help. And we made some, and so basically they were being made, they were being sewn, they were almost done. And I get called into a meeting at work and I find out that our school is literally closing.
No.
And I was going to lose my job. And so
the universe has pushed you, in other words.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I just spent half my savings making a bunch of clothes. I wasn't expecting to suddenly lose my stable job that I'd been on at for a decade. So that was a shock. So I had about 6 months before we ended the school year and we were done. And I spent that time looking for another job, but I also spent it just kind of trying to move these clothes because frankly, in my mind, I'm you make something cool, you put it online, everyone will buy it. I figured 80% would sell immediately, which I'm aware now is extremely naive. I understand how foolish that was now. But I did sell, I sold $900 worth the first month, mostly friends and family. Mm-hmm. And my goal was 1,000. So we didn't quite make it.
But close. I mean,
I know, really close.
Yeah.
So I just was okay, I need to earn back my savings quickly. So I was just working on hustling, working on selling, and then doing interviews. And I just couldn't get another job. And I have a master's degree. I was very qualified. Mm-hmm. I had good work experience and I couldn't even get calls back. And I was like, okay, well, we got to figure this out.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well, I'll just focus on these clothes until like a job falls in my lap, because obviously I'm not going to get a job unless it's like a referral, like a friend,
Mm-hmm.
because apparently I have no luck out in the job hunt world.
Oh, how long ago was this?
It'll be 6 years in January.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yep. So next thing I know, like sales are starting to pick up. I made a few more designs, kind of reinvested, because I was like, if I can do this, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just never found another job.
Are you
So
still looking? Are you still waiting for the phone calls?
sometimes I see job listings. I'm like, oh, that sounds like so much fun. And then I'm like, wait, hang on.
Wait, I don't
That
do
would
that
be a
anymore.
bad idea. That would be bad. But yeah, so I actually started drawing a salary equivalent. Well, the first salary I drew equivalent to what I had been making at the school, which granted, that was not a huge paycheck. But I was able to replace my salary that next October. So it had been a full year since I started the hustle. And I was without a paycheck for June, July, August, and September. So 4 months of no paycheck and draining our savings. It was very stressful.
Yeah.
At that point, I was like, I'm in. Like, I like this. This is fun. I'm getting to meet new people. Like, let's just do it. So, and there was so much that had changed that summer in the business, and like a lot of failures too. But I think that, when you have a side business and suddenly has to become your full-time business, you treat it differently.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
have to.
Well, you were pushed essentially. I mean, the universe just said, "Hey, I know you can do this. Go ahead, do it."
I wouldn't have
Right?
picked that. Mm-mm.
So tell us a little bit about those details, because of course, nobody ever talks about the failures. Nobody ever talks about the amount of times they had to get up, and what that was like, and what, all the variety of emotions that you're feeling, because let's face it, we're adults and we have families and houses and we've got responsibilities.
I think that's one of the biggest problems in general with kind of our culture. I don't know if it's millennial culture or I don't know what, but we don't look at failure as just a learning tool. Like I have never ever in my life succeeded at something without falling down a few times first.
First, exactly.
Like, how can you? I'm not some magical like wizard that just succeeds at everything. So yeah, we oh man. Um everything. Just even starting the business and going through that sampling process of trying to get products made for me, and like, let's put this pattern through. Whoops, I messed up the waist. Let's put this through. Whoops, shoot. I messed up the way that stitch is supposed to be done. Whoops, that tension's not right. Like, the only way that I got them good is by failing at it 100 times first, which is very expensive when you're outsourcing products being made. I think that's the number one reason why more people don't do it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that too. If you don't mind, I guess I'm kind of jumping all over the place here, but how did you know, first of all, to do that? And how did you go about doing that? Finding somebody that can help you create these things?
Yeah. I do have a master's in business. So I took classes on supply chain and manufacturing. So that helped. However, I have had friends that did it without that. So we make our leggings are made in China, which sometimes people are like, and I'm like, no, let's have a talk about this, because I can tell you 18 reasons why it's the best choice for us and the best choice for a lot of people. But that's probably a lot more time than you've got today. I wrote a blog post on it.
We'll do another live and learn for that.
Well, it's just interesting. And it's a lot of things about economics, and like, people don't want to talk about politics very much. You have to be like kind of careful, but I think it's fascinating looking at the economics of that. But so I'm like, okay, this is where everyone makes them, but I'd rather make them here locally. So I paid a lot of money to have work with a few different local companies in here in Los Angeles. First of all, nobody will return your call if you don't have $20,000 to throw at them in clothing manufacturing. And once I finally did get anybody who would even talk to me, there's massive setup costs. And it would be like, okay, well, I'll provide fabric, but I need you to sew these for under $10 because I want to sell them for 20.
Right.
And I have to pay for the fabric and the website and my own bills and
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And that person would be like, we can sell them for $8.50. Wait, hang on. It's 11. Hold on. We can do it for $12.50. It's
Oh,
going to be
shit.
14. Wait, it's going to be $18.50. We're going to need $23 a pair to sew these. And I'm like, I am not making Lululemons here.
Yeah.
Like, this is a problem. And I ran into that several times and spent a lot of money trying to make those relationships work when in reality, they're set up to only be making extremely high-end, very expensive things.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're trying to make affordable clothing that a stay-at-home mom can get, in the $20 to $35 price range,
Yeah.
that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
Unless you have 100 grand in the bank and you're planning on making, 10,000 units.
Quantity, right.
You have a distribution channel, which is just not the reality for small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
At least not for me.
Right.
So what I did is I was trying to source internationally. There's a database for that called Alibaba. Most people know about it because you can use AliExpress to buy super sketchy stuff.
Okay.
And that can be a good resource if you know how to use it and what you're looking for. But when you come in totally blind, you just don't know what the terms mean. You are not able to kind of read between the lines of what they're saying. You don't know how to look at someone's statistic page and like figure it out. So honestly, I just had to get help. I found a friend of a friend in California who was doing something similar, and she basically helped me and taught me what to do. And she ended up introducing me to my first manufacturer, which I then was able to repay her a couple of years later when she needed a new manufacturer for something. And I had a connection for her.
Nice.
So, but it's like, once you get your foot in the door, you can figure out what you're doing and you can figure the rest out. You just kind of, honestly, I think everybody just needs help to start. Like,
Yeah.
there's just no way around it.
I love that you're saying that because it makes so much sense. And I think, no matter what industry you're in, if it's clothing or, for me, houses, whatever, having a mentor, asking the questions, asking people that are doing the things that you want to do. A lot of people are super nice and willing to help. A lot are.
Mhm.
I mean, I love that. And I think that's a huge piece of advice because a lot of people will come into it. Yeah, I want to start a business, or yeah, I want to do X, Y, Z. And they just kind of jump into it without accessing resources like you did. So I love that advice a lot.
Yeah. The other thing that is an option for somebody that wants to source making a product locally or overseas is using a broker.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Pay them to connect you with the right sources.
Right.
That was out of my price range.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like, it just was.
Right. I mean, it sounds like you were dealing with you can run out of capital real quick when you're doing a startup. We'll just say that.
Oh yeah. And it doesn't matter if you're, hand making macrame wall hangings or you're trying to manufacture custom backpacks. Like, everything takes some capital to start. And like, that's just the reality of it, because, you need materials to make your first batch.
Yeah.
Like, that's just all there is to it. Unless you're doing digital, which is so cool. I feel like that's what I would do if I was going to go back and do something else.
Yeah. Tell us about it.
Oh, about digital stuff?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I just think that that's so clever, because when you're like making like templates for people, or you're programming someone else's social media, or you're doing anything on the computer, the only commodity is your creativity and time.
Yeah.
So, you don't have to have the same amount of risk or capital involved with a product business.
And you can do it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You can be on vacation. Still working, guys. Yep, I'm working.
I know, wouldn't that be nice?
I don't know what that's like. Maybe someday.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice, or, more than one little juicy bit would be welcomed, or one, whatever. Do you have any advice for moms that might be in the position that you were in? Either the universe kicked them in the butt and said, hey, corporate world's not happening for you right now. You got to do something else. Or they're just feeling that passion. Maybe they're stay at home and they're wanting to get back in and do something creative. Do you have advice for a mom that might have been in the similar shoes that you were in, to sort of help her get there, maybe without making so many mistakes, if possible?
Really expensive mistakes.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, when you're trying to make that jump to self-employed, whether you want to start a product business or a service business online or whatever it is, I think it's really important to like kind of use your network.
Yeah.
And don't let yourself get sucked in by like, so the second you start researching and you're like, how do I do this or whatever, your Facebook feed and your Instagram feed is going to get filled with experts who for $27 or $356 will sell you this fantastic video program explaining all the secrets to make up $1 billion.
Yep. And they only sell it for 300 and you're going to make a bajillion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes sense.
And I only know a few of those are semi-legitimate and they're pretty darn vague.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like that industry can be incredibly predatory for moms that are just trying to figure out how to support their families. So I do have a big problem with it, actually. There's some good resources, but the good resources I feel like mostly help people who find out about them through word of mouth, because they don't have to spend thousands of dollars a month on Facebook ads in order to sell their programs. Like Reality, it's kind of a logical thing. So just being like really careful of people trying to make money off of you because you are now trying to be an entrepreneur. And that can take a lot of different forms. And then I think the biggest thing I had to figure out in the beginning that is like, well, what's your thing? Like, you want to do a side hustle and you have a vague idea. It's going to be kind of this, I want to make a body care line. I want to provide services and teach around self-care. I want to help moms with sleep training, all these things. Like, what makes you special and different? It's usually like your personality, and then also whatever special things you figured out for your product or service. But like, for example, for your team, you guys are super plugged into the community and your mom's helping moms. Like, that makes you so different. For me, my business started out really focused on very loud prints and offering things nobody else could. Now we're moving more towards very inclusive sizing and being very body positive and offering more size ranges. So I'm investing a lot of my time into influencers, TikTokers, that kind of thing, that are all size ranges and that are really talking about, loving yourself and taking care of your body and that kind of a thing.
It sounds like passion needs to meet work a little bit here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
a lot of
what are
it.
you doing?
Yeah.
Go get an office job.
Right. Exactly. Passion's a huge piece of it. Let's talk a little bit about just like balance, home life while you are, right? I know, is balance even, is it a thing? Sometimes I don't feel like it's a thing. Okay. A lot of times I don't feel like it's a thing, but were you able to achieve that? Do you have advice, surrounding that? Because there's a lot of work involved in a startup. It's a lot of time. And you're a mom with a family and a house and a da-da-da-da-da. So tell us a little bit about how that went for you and what advice you might have.
It went badly. It went very badly. Does anyone have a different experience than that?
Not much.
Yeah. So I'd say if you want to start a small business, you're going to go out on your own, get a therapist, just right off the bat. Like, just as a precautionary measure, you're going to need it. Like, just get yourself a good therapist. I had a really hard time going from spending the first decade of my working life in an office with other people to being in charge of myself and by myself. It brought up a lot of depression and anxiety that I didn't even know that I had, because I repressed them, show up. I was, happy every day at the office, like so much to keep me distracted. You go home and you're quiet alone with your thoughts, and suddenly you're like, I can't. So there was a lot of therapy there.
It makes sense. Yeah. I can understand it.
I really think it takes honestly, for me, it took a couple years to get to the point where I had systems in place where I could log out at 6 o'clock or 4 o'clock and be done for the day. Yep. And even then I will still answer messages here and there in the evening. But just, there's like one person that has access to me and that's it. So it's just, how quickly can you get stuff in place that you need in order to run your business without being 24/7 on it?
Yeah. And what I'm hearing you saying is boundaries too. Know what those are is my biggest advice.
Yeah. Well, so for me, once I lost that office structure and I'm working for myself, I became really, really bad at feeding myself.
Mm,
Like meals. Did I eat today? I don't know.
yeah.
And what shocked me is suddenly skipping meals and forgetting to eat resulted in gaining weight because my body was like, you're trying to starve me.
Exactly.
So I've actually spent the last 6 months working in the nutritionist, and I've started to slowly lose weight by not skipping meals and making sure that my meals are actually balanced. Get some vegetables in there,
Mm-hmm.
Eat some carbohydrates. Like,
Right. There's definitely a combination that is necessary for us to, to feel good. Never
and you
mind
know what?
perform.
Oh, makes such a big difference when I'm actually getting all my meals in. Like, I feel like I can actually think.
Yep.
And I'm just like, how long did I subsist on cheese sticks as an entrepreneur? Because I was too busy with my work to go make myself some lunch.
Yep. And I think a lot of people don't understand. In fact, I'm 42 years old. I pretty much just learned this. Not even kidding. Not putting food in your body has the opposite effect of what you think.
Yep.
Your body goes into starvation mode, just like Amy said. And once you do eat, it just converts it all to fat. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've gained 20 or 30 pounds since becoming an entrepreneur, and it was not from eating too much. It was from being too busy to feed myself
Mm-hmm.
and being too stressed. I'm like, I'm too stressed. I have to finish these designs. I can't take time to eat dinner tonight. Like, take the kids to Chick-fil-A
Mm-hmm.
and bring me back something. I don't care. I'll eat it at 10 p.m. tonight, and then you don't. Like, it's hard. The
Which is
other thing
also
that,
terrible, even if you do, because you shouldn't eat late at night.
yeah, I also struggle with getting enough sleep. I mean, who doesn't? But like, especially with my husband starting to stream over the summer and he's up till midnight being loud. And I'm like, dude, I'm a light sleeper. So I've had to set a boundary. If it's like, it's 10 p.m., I have to go to sleep. I have to. Like, I just have to, because I don't have enough sleep. How on earth am I going to actually be creative tomorrow and show up for my community?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
can't.
And it affects your mood. It affects the amount of patience you have when you're dealing with your staff, when you're dealing with your distributors and your manufacturers and your family. And it just causes, when you don't get enough sleep and you don't have enough nutrition in your body, I feel like it's just a downward spiral. You're trying to create all this awesomeness, but you're really shooting yourself in the foot.
Well, yeah. And then you feel so bad, you can't fix the situation. I'm so tired and I haven't fed myself. So now I can't make the dinner because I feel so bad.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Like, I am to the point now where I'm like, takeout, cool. I'd rather be fed than not.
Right.
Like, give me a side salad to go with it so I get some veggies in me. Not just the side salad. Give me like the burger and the side salad. So, yeah. And, when you got kids and like you can't control when suddenly they're going to be up all night, you have to try to make up for it anywhere you can.
Yep.
I take naps sometimes when they're at school.
Hey, I don't blame you. You need to get those Z's in so that you can do all the things that you want to do. I love that you brought that up, because I don't think enough people think about that, especially entrepreneurs, especially busy moms like us. I just don't think that they think of it. Oh, I'm so tired and give me something to cure that. Where's the energy drink? Blah, blah, blah. But if you actually think about it, you need to eat and sleep, man. You're a human body,
Yeah, so my husband was out of town a couple weeks ago. He was chaperoning a high school trip. So, it's not like I was envious of him.
You're like, have fun.
Yeah. We used to both do that before we had kids. So I know how crazy it gets. But so he's gone for a whole week. And I'm actually trying to finish a book in addition to launching my fall collection and doing all these other things. And so I'm like working myself, like I'm up till 1 and 2 and 3 in the morning. Then I'm up with 6:30 with the kids. Like, I'm really not respecting my own health boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to about Wednesday and my mom's like, what have you done? And I'm like, I don't know. So she just like took the kids for a whole afternoon and I just slept. I don't even remember thinking I was going to fall asleep. I just remember waking up. I'm like, what? Did I nap? What? So it's just, I think there's this culture around being an entrepreneur where you're like, it's all about my hustle and I'll work so hard and I can do it and it's just me. And that's just not the reality of any human existence.
No.
And when I see entrepreneurs where they don't have a mom to help get their kids occasionally, or a husband who can help do the dishes after dinner, like, unless you're paying for a lot of help, that definitely makes it really hard, if not impossible in a lot of instances. Like,
Yeah.
we're not meant to function alone.
I totally agree. And I feel that that advice holds true even if you're not an entrepreneur. I mean, you know, we pack our schedules with so much stuff, right? We expect so much from ourselves, especially as moms. And I feel like we try to do it all on our own, or, you know, some of us try to do that. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to lean on others for support. And I mean, I love what you just said. You have to.
Yeah, when I first started, my daughter was not in school yet. My son had just started school. My daughter was home for the first large portion of starting my business. I would trade babysitting with friends that were in the same boat as me. So we had quiet work time.
Yeah, that's huge too. And something that I think a lot of parents don't necessarily, maybe they just don't know. But when you're working for yourself, you're working from home and your kids are home. Like, no, they don't nap when you want them to. They don't stop coming into the office and bugging you. They need snacks. They need this, they need that. You can't get anything done. You really can't.
We all got a big dose of that, didn't we?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
should have seen my husband's face the first time they interrupt him teaching remotely. It was so funny. It's like I could just see the wheels turning. Is this what her life is like?
And then they realize.
It was good. It was good stuff.
Oh, 2020. It brought us so many presents, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? We might as well focus on some of the good that we got, you know, family time. Lots of people grew their small businesses or started small businesses.
So true. So true. There's actually a lot of positivity that came out of it. I like your style. So tell us a little bit about Southwest Leggings. We've been talking all about how you got into it, what you do. Tell us a little bit about the business. What do you got going on?
Yeah. Oh, you want some news? Want some exclusive dirt?
Yeah.
So I'm so excited. Actually, we grew a lot during the pandemic because people wanted loungewear. Imagine that. Yep. We also went viral selling masks during that time.
Oh, nice.
Which I gotta tell you, when I'm on TikTok and I'm seeing all these small businesses saying, TikTok, make me go viral. Can my business go viral? I'm like, no. What you mean is, can I find a bunch of loyal customers who will, you know, support my brand? You don't want to suddenly wake up to 5,000 orders overnight that you didn't expect. It's not fun because there's massive expenses involved with that when you scaled faster than you meant to and you don't have systems in place and suddenly you can't fulfill those orders and you haven't slept in 3 weeks and you were crying all the time. So don't recommend it. 1 out of 10. But I did use the cash that we made going viral in order to launch some new skirts and bike shorts. And what else do we make? I feel like we're making so much now. So, but we also started running paid ads for the first time this summer, which has been like an adventure. We were profitable in June on it. We're breaking even at the moment. So I'm getting it figured out. We only lost money the first month. So, but that's been super fun. I'm sure several people are like, oh yeah, I've seen your ads like 18 times. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm working on the frequency. I'm trying. It's hard to figure out. But so part of the feedback we got reaching new customers was when I first started making leggings, people did not want pockets in them. They considered pockets to just be for athletic leggings. Fashion leggings shouldn't have them. That was totally the message I got. And when we tried to add pockets, they just didn't quite work. So, but now, you know, we're 5 years down the road. I know a few more things about how to do things. So we actually kind of figured out how to do pockets properly this spring. And we tested them out on our shorts this summer. Everyone loved them. They held up great. I'm wearing a pair right now.
Nice.
So next week, when our fall stuff hits, all of our fall leggings will have pockets on them. So, I mean, I'm excited.
I'm excited too, because you got to have that phone on you. Sorry, but you do.
The other thing is we actually are adding another size. So we have like, for adults, we have kid sizes, but like for adults, we have tween, which is, super petite, like 0 to 2. And then we have one size, which is, that's what every other brand calls it. I hate the term. So I'm like, one size, what does that mean?
Yeah.
But every time I try to change it, everyone freaks out. So be it. And then we have our tall and curvy, which is essentially plus size, but it's 12 to 18. And we've extended that's 18 to 26, right? So everyone is essentially covered. However, I just feel like the fit could be better for the 12 and 14s, 10, 12, 14. So we're actually adding an in-between size. So we're going to call it mid-size. I mean, we're going to call it's done. Like they're made. We're finishing things up here.
Nice.
So I'm really excited to add mid-size because I think it's going to better serve so many people.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't do that several years ago. I was small enough and I just felt like I had to play by everybody's rules. And we weren't at a volume where I could afford to add another size, because every time you add a size, you add a color, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Now it was easy. It was like, no problem. We probably should have done this a year ago. It just kind of snuck up.
But you learn, like you said. I mean, and the same thing in my industry. Every year you learn more, you get better, you can scale better, all those things. It's a learning experience. And I think that is a giant thing that entrepreneurs need to keep in mind also. Again, you're going to fail. You're going to have to go through these things to figure out that end game, right? And it's okay. And I think a lot of people beat themselves up and get kind of upset that they're maybe not getting there as quickly as they wanted to, or gee, I didn't know that. I've been doing this for 5 years and there's something I didn't know. Yeah, it's going to be the rest of your life.
Nothing goes as quickly as you'd like it to when you're trying to learn things and grow a business. Like, at least, I mean, maybe someone else has had a different experience, but that seems to be the way things are for me and all my friends.
Yeah.
Everything takes longer and is harder and has more failure than you'll expect. Like, that's just the reality of it. And I think if you kind of get used to that fact, it makes things a lot easier, because then you don't have to take the time to be upset every time you hit a setback.
Yep.
You just jump over and keep going.
Right. Or beat yourself up. How much do we lose when we're like, oh, I should have known that, or, and you're kind of like beating yourself up. How much time do we lose there? And, how much emotion are we spending that we really don't need to? Right?
That applies to a lot of things, doesn't it?
Totally. Oh, this has been such an awesome talk. Is there anything else that I should have asked you that I didn't, that you think our mamas might want to know?
No, I mean, if you let me go, I'll just talk about like businessy, like scaling and traffic sources and funnels and stuff like that all day, because I'm such a business nerd.
Well, I love that. We should do that on another show.
Yeah, you're like, don't do it now. And then just stop.
It is good though. It's a great topic and I'm excited to hear about it. So I'll have to have you back, if you would come back.
Anytime.
Awesome.
You can just call me randomly.
And just always. Hey, I'm hopping on.
I'm always ready.
I'm going to test you. I'm going to call you randomly and be like, hey, I'm hopping on 5 minutes. Okay, come on. We're going to talk about XYZ topic. You got this?
Yeah. I just think like the biggest thing that I tell when people email me and are like, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to start this clothing brand or whatever, which happens frequently. And I love that. Like, that makes me so happy. I'm always like, well, the biggest thing you can do is get your support group around you can cheer you on, and then just remember the truth. Remember why you love it and that you're capable on days where you don't feel like that's true anymore. Yeah. Because there's going to be weeks and months where you're like, I'm a failure. This is a failure. Like, this is just done. Like, I should just cash out and run. Like 3 years ago, I was looking at selling the business. I got an offer for 80 grand to sell the business. Okay. And I almost took it. Then I was like, what, 80 grand is going to get us by for a few months. And then I'm going to spend it all starting a new business. And I'm back at square one. What's the point?
You're like, I know myself.
But you just like have to hold tight to what you know the truth is on days where you just question yourself and you're just struggling.
I agree with that. And with any success, the unfortunate sort of part of it, but it's how you can, you're getting there. There's haters too. How do you deal with that? How do
You
you
have
deal
an
with the
Instagram
haters?
troll right now. She's posting on everything. Oh, it's cracking me up. I'm not even deleting them. Like it
'Cause it's
brings me
that
joy at this point. She's like, how can you possibly say that this item will fit this whole size range? And I'm like, yeah, I got another one the other day. I bet your leggings are totally opaque. So you know what I did? I posted a video of me doing squats in them.
I love you.
It would have made me cry a few years ago. Like it would have, 100%. But, you know.
Right. And so hence the advice that you gave at the very beginning, get yourself a counselor or somebody to talk to, because that stuff, I mean, I deal with it too, and have for, I've been doing this for 15 years. So I've been dealing with it for quite some time. And in the beginning, like you said, it crippled me. Days, weeks, I'm like, oh my gosh, am I really what they say I am? That kind of, and then I got, the counselor, and she's like, well, at least you're successful when you have haters. And when you kind of look at it in a different way, it helps. But they're definitely out there, which is an unfortunate thing, but it's something that we have to deal with as business owners.
Yeah, but I've just had the best experience overall. I mean, anybody that's going to buy a dinosaur printed pair of pants is going to be a fun, nice person. Like
They're
that's
gonna be
just the
cool.
reality of it.
So true. Oh, Amy, where can we connect with you? Where can we shop? Oh, and you're in the upcoming MOMnation market.
I am in the market. Yeah. So I actually was just working on finalizing my little video to send you, but yeah, we're doing 20% off for everybody that time. And I'm actually going to discount all my girls' dresses for all the mamas because they're ridiculously adorable. And the first set that we made, the first samples I made are now about a year old. And my daughter's been wearing them every day for a year and they still look perfectly new. And I'm like, these are good. I need to get these to people.
Oh, good. I've just recently, I'm not a dress kind of girl. Well, I should say I haven't been. Okay. But I just recently started wearing like maxis and stuff, and it's so comfortable and they're so easy. And so I'm excited to shop your site once it's live on Monday.
We're gonna get you all outfitted.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Perfect.
Get you out of the black t-shirts.
Yes. Yeah. You know my color, right? Oh my goodness. Well, Amy, where can we connect with you?
We just have our website, southwestleggingcompany.com, and I'm on Instagram and Facebook and all those things. We're usually pretty easy to find. I also have a new TikTok. We're almost to 1,000 followers.
Nice.
To jump on there. But yeah, I'm super excited for the market. It's such a fun way to connect with more moms. And like my business grew in this community that is MOMnation. So
Yay.
I can't even when we don't do any other activities like this anymore, because we're just too busy. This is the one thing that I'm like, these are my homegirls.
Your peeps. Oh, big hearts, big hugs. That makes me happy. Thank you so much, Amy. It was nice talking to you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Always fun to see you.
You too. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you at the market and enjoy the rain.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.